All right, what's going on, everyone? All right, so this is going to be the line of scrimmage. I'm making this because you know what? I want to know what side of the debate you're on every time we have these conversations. A video that I've been wanting to talk about for the longest time, and now that like the season is about to start, I wanted to bring this up, right? Because first of all, man, I am sick and sick and sick and tired of everyone in our division having a Super Bowl win, and me being as passionate as I am about the Chargers. It just kind of sucks that they can always throw that in your face, right? It also sucks that even though we're as talented as we are, we seem to always come up short against our division rivals. Like, honestly, I felt like we could have beat the Chiefs both games last year. The fact that we even went 1-1 with the Raiders irritates me. Same thing with the Broncos. And that leads me to kind of like where this team is at the moment because talent wise, now I've said this in a different video, I'm not the biggest fan of how we structured this team because we're very top heavy. And the way this team is structured with the money, this is a Super Bowl or bust year because next year we're gonna have to cut guys. Um we are not gonna be as talented as we are this year. We're gonna lose talent next year. That's for sure gonna happen. I don't want the Chargers to continue to restructure contracts and continue to push money down the road. Let's clear that up now so we can start building not only through the draft, but when Herbert's contract starts to come in, we are in a place where we can build around him consistently and we don't always have to continue to figure out dead cap money. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But okay, so my biggest issue with this team, my only thing that I'm concerned about, because I like our offense, I love all the weapons around them. I think we have a top 5 wide receiver room. And this is assuming that Johnston is as good as he's looking, man. If he looks like he can be on that Jamar Chase level, let's say even a tier below that, our receiving core is hands down top 3, bar none. There's only like a few teams that I would say would have a better wide receiving room than us. That's, again, assuming we stay healthy, which has been my problem with the Chargers for so long. That is the Bengals, right? You can't really argue with Jamar Chase, Higgins, Tyler Boyd. I would say even Miami with the speed they have with Hill and Waddle. Outside of that, who else would have a better receiving core than us? You could probably put the Philadelphia Eagles in there with Devontae and Brown. But either way, I think overall, like, people even forget about Everett, man. Everett is no scrub. We still got Eckler. Like, we have so many pieces. The fact that Joshua Palmer is our 4th string receiver says a lot because I think Joshua could be a great number 2 or great slot. Like, I still think he has potential to be a better receiver than what we think of him. I mean, he was playing wide receiver 1 for some time, and he did pretty well in that role with us for a minute. Okay, but our offensive line, I think, is going to be top-notch. I love the growth in Pipkins. We're getting Slater back. What Sawyer did last year, and now putting him at guard where he would have more help between Slater and Lindsley. We are looking like absolute monsters everywhere on the field. The only thing, again, is like I don't like our depth. I think that's the one thing because we are such a top-heavy team and we're paying guys so much money that we just don't have a lot of depth. So in injuries, we really got to find guys. In places where like, cost-effective guys that we can use just in case. That's our big downside with our roster. Because even defensive edge, like defensively, like I was thinking about this and I'm like, I don't like the system that we run. I don't like Staley's defensive system for the pieces that we have. So let's just get to this. The biggest thing that's going to affect us this year, Brandon Staley. We all know that. He is the weak link on this team, and this is a prove-it year for him. But I hate this. I hate that we're at this point because I look at all the teams, like the good quarterbacks that have been paired with great head coaches, right? I mean, look at what Andy Reid did for Mahomes and being able to sit behind Alex Smith for a year. Look at what now, like, when Justin Herbert's rookie season, he had Shane Steichen as his offensive coordinator, and Justin Herbert was breaking records with him. The Chargers end up firing Anthony Lynn. We get Brandon Staley. And for some reason, we didn't keep Shane Steichen. But you know what Nick Sirianni did? He said, well, I can't say he said this, but he probably looked at what Shane Steichen was able to do with Justin Herbert on his rookie contract and said, come over here and help Jalen Hurts. Look at what Jalen Hurts did in the last 2 years with Shane Steichen. Shane Steichen is now a head coach and he's gonna have Anthony Richardson as his new rookie QB. Now again, he's a project, but I think under Shane Steichen he could truly develop. Um, we already talked about Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen had Brian Daboll to really be able to learn and develop under. And now I'm seeing what Brian Daboll is doing with the Giants. And Brian Daboll was a candidate with I can't even talk with Brandon Staley the year we hired him. So the fact that we chose Staley over Brian Daboll is just hurting even more now. Now even Trevor Lawrence being paired with Doug Peterson has been amazing for him. It's just, to me, I just feel like the Chargers ownership just doesn't do right by us. And I don't want to blame everything on Tom Telesco because I don't know how much say he actually has in the matter. The fact that Brandon Staley didn't lose his job last year, because yes, we can all go to the playoff loss, right? I hate that we have to live it up, and I hate that the whole chargering thing just is staying alive. And this year, I'm pretty sure it's on the player's mind. And there was a comment I remember hearing that it's like there's only one way to get rid of that stigma, and that's going to be to win a Super Bowl. Honestly, I think you're right. I think it was a mistake for the Atlanta Falcons to keep the head coach for another year after that terrible loss in the Super Bowl, because I don't think you get over a stench like that without having to make some dramatic changes. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case for the Chargers, but this is my thing for Brandon Staley, man. The team needs to have an identity this year. That's something we lacked. I thought it was going to be being a little risky, fourth downs. I understood that, but I felt like we went on fourth downs last year that didn't make sense. Lombardi's offense on fourth downs really, really sucked. I think the thing that really irritates me when I remember watching Lombardi's offense is on fourth down, we ran a lot of with Joe Lombardi's offense, for fourth downs, we were running these little button hooks and little curl routes where Justin Herbert had to put it on the number under pressure on fourth down almost every time. Why do we do this? Justin Herbert, why don't we put him on the move? Isn't that what Andy Reid does with Patrick Mahomes? It gives him more time to find a receiver, and then if he can't find a receiver, well, he could just take it himself. He's 6'6". He could see over everybody. I don't know. I never understood that. I'll never forget about the whole fourth down situation with the Browns at the end. The fact that we won that game was crazy. But Brandon Staley was hired as a defensive-minded coach. With that being said, the fact that Herbert has put up the most yards in the first 3 years of his career than any other quarterback in league history, and the Chargers have also given up the most points in the last 3 years, says a lot. Because Justin Herbert is getting critiqued hard right now. And if I was to have tiers on QBs, I have to limit. Here's my thing. I think Justin Herbert could be on the Patrick Mahomes level. I just think he still has to work on some leadership abilities, because I see that Mahomes, he takes charge of his team. I feel like Burrow, he takes charge of his team. I think Herbert still needs to do that a little bit, and I think Keenan Allen talked about that on an interview once. I think he's going to do that this year. But he gets critiqued hard because of his win-loss record. And I get that, right? At the end of the day, quarterbacks get paid so much. They are the top guys. They need to win games. They need to win big games. And he's won a lot of games for us. But unfortunately, it's only led to one playoff run. And we all know what happened on that one playoff run. I don't necessarily, a lot of people are saying, blame the defense. I can't blame the defense. You know why? They had 4 interceptions that game. Could they have done better in the second half? Yes. But I know it's easy to pass blame to Lombardi, to Staley, and the defense. But like I said, they had 4 picks. I feel like there's got to be a point where Justin Herbert should have been like, you know what? This is my team. It's on me. I'm going to command the offense now. And I feel like he didn't do that. But I'm not putting a lot on him because it was the first time he's been in the playoffs and the injuries. But we do have to critique to a certain extent, right? We can't just say we love you, Herbert, and we're not going to critique you at all, because I have to put some criticism on him. And I think if we love our team, that's the only way we can be true fans. And we got to critique the organization and the players. I mean, obviously not to a crazy extent, right? They're human beings as well, but we do have to critique their level of play as well. And I think there's things he could have done better. And I think if we don't say that, we're lying to ourselves. But for me, with Staley, man, this is a prove it year. The Chargers, Here's the thing. It is a Super Bowl or bust in the regular season. I don't need a bye week, but I need the Chargers to be a top 3 team. There's no excuse for it. Not only a top 3 team, and I'm going to give him some leeway here. The Chargers better be a top 8 defense. If you were hired here to be a defensive-minded coach, the fact that this team has been ranked, in the bottom 10 defenses both years you've been here, for sure you've been in the bottom ranked in rushing now. Every year you've been here. That's a problem. If you are not getting done what you were hired to be here for, what are we doing? If we took the risk in hiring a defensive-minded coach instead of hiring an offensive mind to work with the future of this franchise and Justin Herbert, if he's not getting his end of the deal done, why is he around? If the Chargers are somehow at 500 midway through the season, or worse, losing record, we need to fire him then and there. This cannot last to the end of the year. I will be up for Kellen Moore to take that job. I think Kellen Moore might be a better candidate, even if the Chargers are successful. That's just me. We'll talk about that in a different video. But this defense needs to be top 8, and the Chargers need to be dominant this year. No more bolt. I am tired of this, man. This team is too talented. I think offensively, they are going to do their job this year. But I'm concerned with you, Staley. I don't know how to feel about you. This team needs to have an identity. I honestly don't like your scheme for this team. I don't like the fact that... So I was even watching quarterback, and I was looking at Patrick Mahomes talking about Joey Bosa. He's like, yeah, if 9-7 rolls out to defend, they don't want him to do that. So, if they know that, why... Doesn't that already take a huge element of the defensive surprise out? They know 9-7's going to rush, and he's listed as an outside backer and edge. So does that mean we have to rush him on every play? What does that mean for Khalil Mack? Unless you're rushing 5 all the time, one of them has to drop into coverage, and I don't really trust either of them as much as I like Khalil to be dropping in coverage on certain plays or playing man on certain plays. I don't really like that. So I'm going to take a bigger look at the defense. Honestly, I think the Chargers would be better set at a 43 base defense, because I would honestly put Khalil Mack as a defensive end with Joey Bosa on the other side, and then have Joseph in the middle with some help. I think that would improve our run defense. I think it would give us some more flexibility. It would give us better pass rush. It would allow us to pass rush without having to send guys at times. I don't know if it's just me, but I just don't think our defensive scheme works with the guys we have. I mean, because even if you ran a 43, you know what would be cool? You could put Derwin in the middle. Imagine if you put Derwin James as a middle linebacker on a third down. You're still having a 43 defense, and you could still send that kind of pressure, and you can have a Derwin that can cover that middle of the field. I don't know. I think... maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't know enough. Maybe I need to learn more. It could be true, but I just think you have a little more possibilities with a 43 defense, especially on a team that gives up so much yards on the ground. But this is my thing. I'm going to have a checklist for Staley this year. I haven't written it out yet. I wrote it out yet. And that checklist is going to be this team last year we were at 10 wins. I know it gets harder to go above that 10 wins, yes, we improved, but we took a lot of setbacks. I'm going to go with 11 wins. I still think this team could be a 12, 13 win team, but I'm going to go at 11 wins. That's going to be part of my checklist. No less than top 8 defense daily, and that's including rushing. This team cannot continue to give up yards on the ground. If Justin Herbert's going to have an MVP year like I think he will have, we have to put him on the field. And if teams continue to run over us game in and game out, it takes opportunities away from him from the potential that we know he has. Look, top 8 defense. And like I said, this year, Staley, I hate to say it, but if we don't even make an AFC championship game, this season was a bust. And I get it. The AFC is an absolute gauntlet. And we'll talk about the competition in the AFC, man, because it is insane. But no more excuses. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't care about injuries this year. I don't care about certain circumstances. I want you to make smarter decisions. I want you to be decisive. This team better respond to you. I don't want to see no blown leads. If we get a lead, I don't want to see us take the foot off the gas like we did last year, because Lombardi is not there to blame anymore. Now it's all on you. No more excuses. Look, I'm going to write out a longer checklist when it comes down to it, but that's just kind of like where I'm at with Staley. I think he's the weak link to this team. I think if this team is going to succeed, it's because Staley steps up to the plate. If he doesn't, I'm confident that Kellen Moore would be a great replacement for him. But the thing that scares me is we wasted Justin Herbert's rookie contract on Brandon Staley, man. That's the thing that I can't get over. So it's like we need to win this year to make all the BS we went through the last few seasons count. Because that just means, like, yeah, okay, we got rid of a head coach and we're going to give Kellen Moore a try. But at the same time, to be able to say that we wasted Justin Herbert's rookie contract on Brandon Staley, man, what does that say about us as an organization? That's what bad organizations do. Good organizations pair great head coaches with great potential quarterbacks. And we failed to do that twice. Man, I still remember the coaching carousel we've been on since Phillip Rivers left. So I'm going to root for you, Staley. But when I say I'm going to criticize you every game and everything you do going forward, that will be a thing. Because I cannot take another season of poor mistakes, of the word chargering continuing. It is time to make better decisions. It is time for the Chargers to finally get over this hump, get over this bad stigma, this stench of losing. I want to be a fan and honestly, not have so much hatred every time I mention it, right? I mean, I live in LA, so it's like there's just so many Raider fans and all that BS, but I just think this year could be our year. So I'm going to criticize hard. Anyways, you guys, I'm still kind of building and I'm new to this and I'm learning how to make these videos. So, bear with me. Sometimes I'll make mistakes and I won't really have like the most I won't be as articulate at times just because I'm learning still how to do this. It's not something that I'm normally comfortable with. But if you have any pointers for me to make this better, please let me know. But like I said, I wanted to name this channel The Line of Scrimmage because I want to see what side of the debate are you on. Are you on the Staley side? Are you more on my side? And if you're not on my side, tell me why. Like, I want to know, like, educate me. Maybe we can build a good community of people to talk. But I do want to also criticize these guys, like criticize our team, because I mean, I feel like that makes us more passionate as a fan base. Like, we can't just say I love you. No offense to Miami, but like, man, like, I don't want to be like the Tuanons, right? I don't want to just live in delusion. So I want us to have like a strong conversation and be able to learn off each other. So yeah, that's kind of the thing. I gotta stop saying that's gonna be one of the things I'm gonna be learning. But let me know what you think. What side of the debate are you on? Let's talk about this. And if you are on my side with Brandon Staley, do you have the same issues that I have, or is yours different? I don't know. Let me know. Anyways, I'll see you guys in another video. Peace.